Let's talk about some key elements of topography on VFR charts. There's something called contour lines. The whole purpose of a contour line on a VFR chart represents lines of equal elevation. They show the shape and elevation of terrain, helping pilots understand the height of mountains, valleys, and other landforms. Closely spaced contour lines indicate steep terrain, such as mountains or cliff, where widely spaced lines indicate a flatter, more gradual terrain. The other cool thing with VFR charts is they'll use color shading. So different colors are used to indicate a different elevation bands on the VFR charts typically. Green represents relatively lower terrain, usually near sea level. Brown or yellow indicates higher terrain, with brown often representing mountainous areas. Gray or purple is used for highest terrain areas. These colors provide a quick visual reference for pilots to assess terrain elevation relative to their flight altitude. Spot elevations are specific points on the chart marked with their exact elevation above MSL or mean sea level. These are usually depicted as a number with a dot next to it. Pilots use the spot elevations to determine the height of key terrain features, such as the peaks of mountains or elevations of plateaus. VFR charts show man-made obstructions, such as towers, antennas, and buildings with symbols that include their height above the ground, AGL, and MSL. Each quadrant on the chart has an MEF, which indicates the highest elevation, including both natural terrain and man-made structures in that area. MEFs are shown as large numbers, such as 5.4, which would mean 5,400 feet MSL. Some VFR charts use shaded relief to give three-dimensional sense of terrain. Shading is applied to contour lines to indicate how sunlight might cast shadows, making the terrain shape more intuitive. Shaded areas suggest more pronounced elevation changes, while non-shaded areas indicate flatter terrain. Pilots should use contour lines, color shading, and spot elevations to avoid terrain hazard. During pre-flight planning, pilots examine the chart's topography to choose a safe route that avoids high terrain and other obstacles, especially when flying at lower altitudes where terrain clearance is critical. Pilots often use prominent terrain features such as mountain ranges or valleys as visual references to confirm their position during a flight. In the event of an in-flight emergency requiring an off-airport landing, understanding the topography can help pilots identify a suitable area for an emergency landing and avoid rugged or steep terrain. Hey, if you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more, I've got a free course to get you started with helicopters. Check out the link in the description.